Hello again and welcome to the David Rich Music Podcast. And before I get into that, I'd like to say a big thank you to all the subscribers who've finally pushed us over the 100,000 subscriber level. Really appreciate that. Keep watching and I can assure you I will get better as time goes on. Okay, so let's get into the podcast. It's good this week, a really good one for people who love music and people who love to make music. Now in this podcast, what I'm going to go over is how singer-songwriters can write a hit song, a number one song. And how many have I had? None. So, what do I know about it? Well, my background is actually, as well as music, I've done many things and many businesses over the years. But one thing I have done is, which has helped in this, is I was a financial advisor for many years, working in the Middle East, over in the USA. It's just purely money driven, money. But what it also enabled me to do is be able to work out the analytics, and really work with analytics. And really, this is how I've applied this to hit songs. And it's quite well known, but I'm going to tell you all about it. And if you follow this, and if you're any good, you could be having a number one soon. A little bit more about it. But, you see, I think writing songs shouldn't be, I'm going to contradict myself here, about, doing set things and being very technical musically and all the rest of it. Being artistic, interpretation of your music is what art is about. But sometimes, well, a lot of the time, if you're a singer-songwriter and you're wanting to make a living from music, you've got to apply some business sense to it. So, I'm not saying this will get you to number one because there's a lot more involved, but there is actually a formula that works and will help you and your music if you're writing your own songs. So, let's get on with it. Now in music, I've had a reasonable level of success. I've never had a chart song. I've been involved with music since the Motown era, and well, at the very end of the Motown era, obviously, when you look at me. I was 2. But writing your own music and lyrics, as I say, there is a formula that you can follow. But I'm going to dispel all these things now, first of all, because sometimes you have to break the rules. And you're able to do this more so when you're successful. I mean, you look at the rules. If they followed these rules, these wouldn't have been written. Paul McCartney, George Michael, Elton John and Benny Taupin, Freddie Mercury, they didn't follow any rules. They wrote what they wrote and incredible songs and all the rest of it. But for us mere mortals, singer-songwriters, we have to be a bit more sensible about it, if you like. When Freddie Mercury wrote, Bohemian Rhapsody, it's incredible. I mean, it's 6 minutes something. The Beatles have wrote songs, I can't think of the name of them offhand, but I know there's some of them really 7 minutes. They didn't want to know them. None of the record companies wanted to know these, but Freddie being Freddie got his own way, and the rest, as I say, is history with Bohemian Rhapsody. Incredible song. And, if you'd have followed these rules, that would never have been written. And really, now this is the other aspect of writing. If you're a singer-songwriter and you're actually wanting something to get into the charts and do well with your music, it's totally different to somebody who's writing for the streaming platforms or the music libraries. You need to approach it totally different. But what I'm looking at really is the one that will get you or have more chance in the charts or on the streaming platforms, and importantly on commercial radio stations. First, let's talk about me. Now, this is really looking at radio stations and chart success. Now, first and foremost, I want to point out, I don't bother with Spotify. I think it's a crazy setup, but I know you need to be on that, and this is what we're talking about. So, what I tend to work on, and this also comes down to from a business point of view, is YouTube for music. I think it's fantastic, and I'm going to do another one on why all musicians should be using, not Spotify, YouTube for from a business perspective, certainly. Not the token gestures that you're making at the moment, because they're awful. Most of the channels are absolutely dire. Do you really expect them to sell your music? No, they're not going to. So that's me about that. I've done lots of YouTube channels on different things for different businesses, from local tradespeople to musicians to everything. And my own channels, I've done, I have meditation music, lots of different things for platforms. And all in all, I've done about 200 YouTube channels. Some of them okay, some of them not so bad, some of them terrible, some of them fantastic, that make a lot of money. But I don't believe it should always be about making money. I think if you're only chasing the money, it comes through very quickly in how you're actually approaching things. You need to look at it because you want to do well. You want to be successful. And most of my YouTube channels have been very good. I've lost more than enough, and now I control my language and how I speak politically and all the rest of it, which frustrates a little bit because I have a lot of things I want to say. But back to music. I will say my most successful in terms of plays on my music channel, this YouTube channel, was A Life Full of Dances. And I don't know, this worked because I always follow this method and guidelines. It has 250 words in it and lasts for a bit of sun coming through. Wow. 3 minutes, 7 seconds. It follows the format of a very successful recent artists and many of the top artists' songs. And this is it. For commercial reasons, today's songs need to be 3 minutes or less, ideally less. Maybe just over, but ideally you want to be under that 3 minutes. If you write a 5-minute song and you think this is fantastic, it's absolutely amazing, everybody's got to hear this, and you send this to a radio station, a commercial radio station, guess what will happen with it? I tell you now, absolutely nothing. They won't even look at it. They don't look at anything unless it's 3 minutes or under, unless you happen to be Ed Sheeran or one of the megastars, Taylor Swift, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can get away with it. But I'm presuming that you're not Taylor Swift that's watching this, or Ed Sheeran, or Lewis Capaldi. But you're a struggling singer-songwriter who's thinking, well, what do I do next? Right, stop writing songs that you think are wonderful, and there's only you that thinks they're wonderful, for 7 minutes long. I've wrote them 7 minutes long. I think, well, this is great. It's a nice, good story. It's never going to get played anywhere. But so, stick to the 3 minutes. Number 2, the second is the structure of the song. Now, I listen to lots of new artists. I'm always listening. I listen to some bizarre ones, and they obviously think these songs that they're written are wonderful, and they may well be to themselves and to a few select handful. But to release these songs, and there's a reason why it only gets 10 or 20 views on YouTube or plays on Spotify, because the structure of the song is just wrong. And I'll explain it. Now, would-be songwriters miss the point of massively, really, with songs. They need to be able to tell a story. And it's got to be a simple way to follow that story. It doesn't need to be complicated. A story is always good to have within your song. Unless, of course, you're Beyonce, which you can get away with anything, really. She can get away with it because musically she is Beyonce. I must admit, I did hear, when I first heard Texas Hold'em from Beyonce, I thought, what trash. And it is so catchy and it's infectious. I thought it was really bad, but it's amazing. You can't stop singing it now. I can't sing it because of copyright and all the rest of it. And this is the other side of it. Right. Why has Beyonce written a country song, gone down that route? Because, first and foremost, I think Beyonce is a fantastic businesswoman, and the team that she has around her, as well as an incredible voice and all the rest of it. But that's one thing. We cannot get away with what Beyonce does with some of the other songs. As a singer-songwriter, you need to really focus on how you actually construct your songs and the story it tells. This was something I carried out going back about an artist that come onto the scene and just skyrocketed. Unfortunately, at the moment, it doesn't seem to be about. I know he's got some issues to deal with health-wise, and I'm hoping he gets back very soon because he's absolutely fantastic. I've seen him live as well, and his total personality is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and his songs are. Now, when you look at this artist, I'll say the artist Lewis Capaldi, and when, the song that really sort of took off and just went absolutely mega, everyone's heard it, globally, all over the place, everybody knows this song, Someone You Love, of course. Now, I looked at it and I thought, why is that? And I tried to copy it. Not the words or the music, it's not, I don't think Lewis Capaldi, I could say, actually, he copied me, couldn't I? No, I didn't copy him. I just looked at his song and looked at it from an analytical point of view, and many other songs that are hits around this time. And one thing I've said about the 3-minute rule, it needs to be under. This particular song is exactly 3 minutes long. I don't think that's coincidence. It's around, the word count is 300 words within the song. The beats per minute, and this is a really big one. A lot of songs from singer-songwriters I'm not talking obviously the punky stuff and the heavy rock stuff and all the rest of it. I don't know that music. I won't say I don't like it, I just don't know it, and I'll listen to some of it, but not all of it. But the beats per minute is 110 beats per minute, and 300 words, if they're constructed how they should be constructed, we'll go back over in a minute, will fit in with that 3-minute period. And it works, and it's used in most of the top songs today. Now, the structure that I was talking about for successful songs. Now, you start with verse 1. Now, this is the other thing. The attention span now of listeners and viewers on social media platforms and with music, if you can't grab them quick to go, scroll on to the next, get away. Fluffy dog. Oh, no, fluffy cat in it, yeah. You can get fluffy dogs as well, but, oh yeah. What I'm looking at is the verse 1 should ideally be 30 seconds or less. You've got to really get to a punch point, something that's going to grab the attention. So it needs to get into that chorus pretty quickly, and sometimes even start with a big sound or something to grab. Any of you who've wrote songs and they have this long, laborious, I've done them myself where I've wrote them and then you look at the time, it's a minute and a half before it reaches the chorus. People are gone. People are just gone. They've got bored with it because, you're building up to that chorus usually and people want to feel that and build up with you. So then, verse 1, then you get coming to the chorus, then you go into verse 2, short again. And of course, in the chorus, you've got to have something that's got a hook, something to catch people on. I'll use my song, which I copied, the formula for Life Full of Dances. And a life full of dances. I sung it better than that on the recording. I did, honestly. Have a listen to it. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Okay, so that's the chorus. Then you go into, let's have a look. We've got chorus, verse 2. Yeah, your verse 2 is just have similarities with verse 1, but you're really leading again to the chorus, to the hook part of it. And then obviously after this chorus, you need to break that song up a little bit. And you come on to the bridge, which goes off. I can't even remember for that song now. But then you lean into the chorus, and then your chorus repeat again. And coming into the outro, which is usually, in the case of Lewis Capaldi, is the last little bit of the chorus to finish it all, and played quietly and lead away, and done. Number 1, that's it. That's how Lewis Capaldi did it. I copied this method, and I don't know how many it's got on Spotify. I don't even look on Spotify, and my dog's barking. It's had over 100,000 views on YouTube, and I get a lot of nice comments about it. It is quite a nice song. Now, I'll tell you a story about this song as well, how I actually wrote that. That's going to come up in another podcast because it was quite a good, and this is the thing that stimulates you to write a song in the first place. But looking at Lewis Capaldi's songs, Bruises, 314 words, 3 minutes 40 seconds. Now, originally this was released before Someone You Loved, didn't really do a lot. But this is the thing, once somebody gets big, they can get away with more. Nobody's not going to play a Lewis Capaldi song if it's 3 minutes 40 seconds. Grace, that was one of the early hits as well. 305 words, 3 minutes 4 seconds. And all the same again with your verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus, repeat, an outro, which is a small part of the... My dog's barking. Now, moving on to the next song, Hold Me While You Wait. I actually love this one. I think this is one of his best ones. I'll do a cover on this. I must do it. It's good. It's better than the original, but only in my head. 372 words, more words, but it's obviously gone at a faster pace because he's finishing this 3 minutes 22 seconds. And now, Pointless. He's gone the other way with this one. It hasn't made any difference because it's been a massive hit. And it is because it's Lewis Capaldi. Now, 290 words, 3 minutes 45 seconds, but it will still get airplay because he's Lewis Capaldi. And the recent one that came from nowhere, Noah Kahan, Season of the Sticks, exactly 3 minutes long. It's not rocket science. It's actually not that analytical that I've done. I've not been that clever about it. But I've looked at all these songs. I've looked at all the words, beats per minute and all this lot. And you're looking at 110 beats per minute, 300 words. And the same formula with the songs. You know, you're 30 seconds before you get to the point. You're getting into that story. Now, back to Ed Sheeran, who's an incredible artist. And he's an incredible business person as well. I think he's really got his head screwed on. I saw him live with Lewis Capaldi as one of his supporting acts, and it's fantastic. Makes you wonder, would Ed Sheeran have been so successful if one of his first songs released was Thinking Out Loud, which is 4 minutes 35 seconds? It might have been, who knows, it's only guessing. One of the problems is, and this is the reason for the 3 minute song, commercial radio stations, 4 minutes 35 seconds, they would not have even looked at that because they want to just be able to get 3 minutes. They know even shorter, 2.5 minutes is great. The shorter the better, because obviously within an hour they can play and have, more importantly, a commercial break every 3 minutes. If you played only 4 minute songs, do the maths, somebody, get your calculator out, 4 minutes into an hour, there's not as many breaks in there, is there? So that is the main reason you'll get played on radio stations. The other is you need to be businesslike. And that's coming up in a podcast very shortly. One thing I know, am I the best singer? Am I the best singer-songwriter? Am I the best looking? Yeah, probably. But seriously, am I pretty good at business? Yeah, I believe so. And I think more artists, more singer-songwriters, more bands, more ones that go out there gigging, they need to get real. And, you know, if you're scratching around trying to earn a living with your music, you need to be serious about other aspects. You can write the most wonderful song, but if only 20 people hear it, I don't know. If that's what you want and you're happy just for your family to say, oh, you're wonderful. You're wonderful, David. You're fantastic. You're better than Ed Sheeran, better than Lewis Capaldi. That's bullshit. You need to, you know, get your head on, get business-like. So, in a future podcast, singer-songwriters, anyone in music who isn't making lots of money and they're scratching around and thinking, God, this is hard work, watch this podcast and I'll tell you, it will help you. Really help you to look at your music differently, because you need to. You cannot carry on doing this. You're going out doing a $100, £100, €100 gig is not going to earn you a living. Yes, you'll be adored by the 30 people or the 15 people in there playing the slot machines. But, you know, if you want to make money and enjoy the music business as you live in, then keep watching for a podcast coming up, which is absolutely going to blow your mind. And you'll think, why didn't I do it that way? And you will do. But the next one I'm going to do is about songwriters. Okay, well, I hope you've got something from this. You found it a bit interesting. If you if you're not a musician, you think, yeah, it was all right. I don't know what you think. Put in the comments. What a load of shit this was. It don't bother me, because this is another thing with business and comments. Google, Facebook, and all these lot, they don't differentiate between a bad or a good comment. It's just a comment. I don't actually get that many. I must admit, I've turned them off because I was getting some not so much nasty ones, but I don't like it when it involves saying nasty things about children that are dying. So cut them off. Right, okay, so thank you for listening, and listen to the next one, because I'm going to go over a fabulous singer who is no longer with us, unfortunately, but is one of my all-time favourites. He's amazing, and some background about how he wrote his songs I think is really interesting. So whether you're a singer-songwriter or somebody who just loves music, keep watching to my ingeniously labelled David Rich Music Podcast. I don't know how I think of it. Brilliant. Okay, bye. And interpreted, Hello and welcome to the David... How the fuck I forgot my name? David Rich Music Podcast. Come on, start again, for fuck's sake. I can't remember it. How can I not remember that? It's my name. Hello and welcome to the David Rich Music Podcast. Oh, yeah. I'll just say hello. I'll just say hello this time. Sure. Right. Hello and hello, good evening and welcome. No, starting. Serious, totally serious. Hello and welcome to the David Rich Music Podcast, and we've got a really good one for you this week. Fuck. Right, we are. A bit wheezy as well today. Bloody it's pollen time, isn't it? I need a drink of water. Of course, it's the singer Lewis Capaldi. He ain't fucking Irish. He's Scottish. Yeah, he's Scottish. Irish. I know, admittedly, he doesn't sing in Scottish. Right. You put me off then. I was bloody doing all right, Pratt.